Hey guys. OMG guys, I am here and oh my goodness, I have been working to get to this live from 8 o'clock this morning. But that's okay. I'm committed to transform. I'm committed to getting this done, and this message could be a blessing for someone. So I am excited. OMG. So today's message is choose to commit to transform. I'll tell you a quick story about who I was before, but you know what? Let me tag some people to see if they are able to get on. Hold on one second. And if you're on, like, share, subscribe. If something is said that you know that could make a difference for you or anyone you know, just, comment, like, share, subscribe. All right. So guys, let's talk about committing to transform. You see, years ago, and up to a couple months ago, this was the kind of person I was. So y'all know that I'm in sales, right? And let's say we're working on a goal and I did not see that goal happening by around this time, or maybe a couple days before, maybe 5 days before, I would just drop the ball. I wouldn't follow through because my brain started to take over and I started playing the story of how I couldn't make it happen. And there's a girl in my group, there's a woman in my group, and I call her the finisher. Because no matter what is supposed to happen, even if it's the last day of the month, this woman just goes in and gets it done. She is like that football player that carries the ball over the finish line. And we're going to talk about that today, committing to what you want. Because one of the ways you can get happiness in 2021 and forever is following through on your commitment. Maybe you're committed to lose weight. Maybe you're committed to reading 12 books for the year. Maybe you're committed to being a better mom, a better wife, or staying with your husband, or whatever. You want to choose to commit. And once you commit, everything starts to work together. But there's some things that could cause you to stop when you commit. For example, let's say you've committed, you're on your last dollar, but you decided that you're going to invest the last of your investment to start a company. And that's it. If this company fails, you're in the poorhouse. And you do everything, you invest every single dollar you have to start the company. And a month before the company is supposed to start, your chief business partner dies. What would you do? Would you give up? Would you keep going? That's the story of Mary Kay Ash, guys. A month before she was supposed to start this business that has transformed over 4 million lives around the world. She was just a grandmother with $5,000 in savings. She had planned to do the business with her husband. She didn't want to learn about the financial things because that was his job. He was going to learn about that. She just wanted to focus on training the salespeople and selling the product. Well, a month before the company is supposed to open, he dies at the breakfast table. What do? You quit or do you keep going? And she kept going and she changed lives. Maybe you decided that, you're going to make a lot of money this year. You're going to be super successful. And then something happens, a big bill comes up and you are like, oh my goodness, really? Or you may lose your wallet and you're like, it's not going to happen. But these are all signs that something has shifted in the universe for you. It's a sign that you should keep going. Pablo Coelho, and if you guys are interested, you can look up the book, The Alchemist. Will Smith talks about it a lot. One of his quotes is that when you want something, all the universe conspires for you to get it. And sometimes there are pieces of you that have to die in order for you to get what you want. In order for you to transform, you should choose to commit to the vision in your mind. And when you commit to the vision in your mind, then there are pieces of you that will have to die to accommodate that vision. One of the things that I used to be plagued with was fear. It was something that, I don't know, it was just so annoying. But now I have faith because I decided that part of me had to die in order for me to be who I came here to be. In the same book, Pablo Coelho, The Alchemist, he says, whoever you are and whatever it is that you want to do, when you want to do something, it is because the desire originated in the soul of the universe, and it is your mission on earth. So some of you on this live right here, you have goals, you have dreams that you got put in your heart, and you're not doing them. I challenge you, go and do it. You're supposed to help us go further. And don't think you're too old. I've talked about that before. Colonel Sanders was over 60 years old, was almost out of his retirement fund, almost broke, and all his life he could fry chicken really well. He went to over 700 people to ask them to be able to do business with them, and they said no. But eventually someone said yes. And today we have KFC, and his family is still reaping the benefits. What gifts do you have that you need to commit to in order to transform your life? You see, when you commit to something, we're not saying it's going to be easy. We're not saying that. You may have to still jump over hurdles. In fact, I remember when I made a commitment to do something, and then something really, really bad happened. And for days I would get up and think about it over and over. And it just kind of like dampened my spirit. I was like, but I was still doing the best I could every day. And then one day it dawned on me what Mike Tyson says. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And I realized that I had just gotten punched in the face, and I needed to get back up in the ring and keep fighting for that dream. You see, all of us have a vision, have a goal in our mind's eye that we must complete in this mission. Les Brown says that, imagine someone was on their deathbed and they're dying, and the spirits of all their goals and dreams came around, and they said, we came to you to help us to achieve this. We came to you to do this. We came to you, but you didn't do anything because you were too afraid. You weren't willing to commit so that you could transform. Each and every one of you has greatness inside of you. So in order for you to maximize that greatness and to transform, choose to commit to it. So an example of something that I'm committed to is our cold showers. Man, oh man, I hear my husband hears me howling and screaming in the morning. But for 10 seconds, I'm howling and screaming. But after about 40 seconds, I'm like, oh, this feels kind of good. It's the same thing with exercise. You may have started exercising, and for the first couple weeks or days, you feel like your body's been ran over by a Mack truck because you haven't done it. But then after a couple weeks, you feel fantastic. You start getting compliments. People start saying to you, oh, girl, you doing something different? Oh, my goodness. Are you doing something different? It's the same thing with your business. Maybe you have a crafting business that, that's your gift. That's your talent that you're supposed to share with the world. What ideas are you getting from God to expound that business? That business could be a blessing to people. You could be the next Martha Stewart, but you'll never know unless you try. So that's what I want to stop into today and say, commit to what you want, commit to it, and then you'll transform. And if you're looking for something to read, check out The Alchemist. You can download it on Audible. I don't get $1 for recommending this, but my goal is to change lives and make a difference in the world. And you'll look at that story and see how this young man, he went through a whole bunch of stuff in order to realize that everything he needed was inside of him. So there are a couple of stories I want to tell you before I close out. I remember when I worked on a goal and I completely, my friend Kima is like, oh, those cold showers. But I was working on a goal and I just knew I was going to do it. And it didn't happen. And I was talking to my mentor about it. And, I said to her, you know what? I'm probably like Usain Bolt. And she probably was like, what is she talking about? You see, when Usain Bolt first entered the games, I don't know which game it was. I don't know if it was the Olympics or whatever. But he had been training all his life to run. And he made one false start and he was out of the game completely. Imagine training for years for something and one mistake and you're out. But he didn't give up. He kept working on himself, running. I mean, you should see the documentary on YouTube. On Netflix of him just practicing every day. And today, he's one of the fastest men in the world. They know him. I'm watching my Korean romances and they're saying you should be fast like Usain Bolt, a Jamaican guy from the country. So your goal, your destiny is tied to so many other people's destinies. And it doesn't matter if you have a false start. Just keep going. All right? Another example is, let me make sure I get everything for you, is, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing it. Think of yourself like this. Do you want to die without your music being played? And just do something every day. As soon as you make one step, the way will be open. And Martin Luther King says, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just got to make the first step. Just make the first step. All right. So I pray that this created value for you. As always, I am always finding people and attracting people who want more, who need more, and who are willing to work, who know that there's more inside of them than they currently are experiencing, and want a mindset coach to help them, to mentor them to get to where they want to go. Because you know what? We all came here to change lives. My goal is to create value for you. I pray that this touch moved and inspired you toward and propelled you towards your next goals. Bye, guys. Love you.